Good afternoon, dear audience. Today we have the opportunity of having this marvelous personality. He's so energetic, he's a trustworthy man, a great human being. He's Julian Villa. And today we have it in the podcast. How do you feel today, Julian Villa?
I'm good. I'm exhausted, but I'm here and I'm awake and ready.
That's pretty good to know. Why are you tired?
I was in Florida for all of Friday until this morning. I flew back in, and so I was up all night and flying back in early in the morning and stuff. So
you took a flight to Florida, and then, you told me that you passed out at some point in Florida trip.
We were just exhausted. We do long days, a lot of activities and stuff. So we'd get home and fall asleep really early.
Let's go dig into your activities. What kind of activities were you performing there in Florida?
So we were in Daytona Beach, which is about an hour east of Orlando. So we were right on the beach area. So we went to the beach and walked their piers and boardwalks and stuff a lot. We did a lot of the unoriginal tourist destination stuff and all the tourists.
The most famous one?
Yeah, the most famous beach was actually what it was called in Daytona. We went to Orlando a lot. Disney Springs was one of the big things that we did.
Wow.
It's their free marketplace thing. It's massive. We went to quite a few different museums and stuff. We bought electric scooters.
Electric scooter? Do you rent them?
Yeah, well, we didn't rent them. It was cheaper for how long we were staying, it was cheaper to just buy them flat out.
You actually buy them?
Yeah, we did.
Oh my goodness.
We were staying with my girlfriend's dad, so we just gave them to him to keep, because he has visitors and stuff as well. So, yeah, it was cheaper to just buy them flat out from Walmart than it was to rent them for all 5 days that we were there.
Yeah, I understand. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So you told me that you were planning this trip for a long time, like a couple of weeks, I guess?
It was a month, and we got the idea beginning of this month, just about. And then it took several weeks of kind of convincing parents.
Several weeks for parents.
To convince our parents
My
to
Lord.
let us go by ourselves, and then.
So you were on yourself.
Yeah.
You and your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Just the both of you.
Mm-hmm.
How do your girlfriend's parents react to that?
They're definitely a lot stricter than my parents are. So it took my girlfriend a lot longer to convince her parents.
Girls are complicated.
And say it was her mom too that put up the most fight about it. Her parents are split up, they're divorced.
I understand.
So her mom doesn't like her dad, and her biological dad, the divorced dad, is who we were staying with in Florida. So it was a huge fight of why are you going to go see him? And family stuff, their family issues. My family, it was more of, well, you're paying for all of it, and was don't come back completely broke with zero money and or get arrested.
Oh my goodness. Could be possible too.
It could. We came down prime spring break time for Florida, when a lot of the tourists and stuff were coming down and partying and
so I guess the prices are higher than normally, right?
Yeah, when we were booking our flight tickets, they were for the week before we went, they were about $90 for a round ticket.
90.
There and back was about $90.
Go and back.
There and back was $90.
Oh my goodness,
but
so cheap.
Since we were flying during spring break season in that time, and planes were packed, they were about $150 a piece.
Oh, almost 150%.
Yeah. Oh, it was $150 a person, and then we had to fly 2 different airlines too. We had to fly Spirit and Frontier. So it was 2 separate tickets for each one, and that was stupid expensive.
But more than expensive, I would say that being in 2 different flights just in the goal, it should be kind of exhausting. And you think so? Kind of disturbing or wholesome?
It wasn't bad. I mean, it was tricky to try to coordinate the tickets and stuff, especially because I was the only one that brought a suitcase, like a checked bag. That's what it's called in airports. So I had to pay extra for that and go through a whole like bag security thing, and they'd scan the bag and go through all that.
It took a little bit longer.
Yeah, it took. I caused it to be a little bit longer because I packed more,
Yeah.
and that costed me a little bit more money. But I've been in airports a lot, so I'm pretty accustomed to how it goes through and that whole thing works. I mean, I was okay.
So it's not like an odyssey for you.
Mm-mm.
You were like so used to it, like you didn't feel it like troublesome or disturbing, right?
Not really. It wasn't the first time I was alone doing stuff in an airport and trying to figure out all of that, like without my parents or whatever. So it was easier for me. But like my girlfriend, this was her 4th time flying, and so she was still really worried about all of the little details and stuff.
Even though the 4th time.
Yeah, yep. It's because the first 2 times she flew were for like school trips. Like her
graduation school trips?
No, it was, so one was she's in was in choir at her high school. So did a choir trip down to Disneyland in Florida and did a concert and stuff down there in Disney Springs. And the other one was for her senior, like a lot of high schools around here do senior year trips. So they take all the seniors and they fly them out somewhere to do something.
As
a trip. As a little treat for the graduates. They went down to Orlando and did Universal and Universal Studios and that entire thing.
Wow.
So I was, her 3rd one was again down to Florida to visit her dad. So she's only ever flown to Florida, which is...
But he was on her own.
Yeah.
And this time with you, with a different personality. So I guess the adventure, in some way, got a little bit more funny, right?
Oh, it was definitely a lot better. It was more relaxing to like just be us and it was fun to figure everything out and do the entire process. I feel like I'm adulting, but I'm not an adult yet.
Like you're growing a little bit by bit, right? By taking the decisions for flying, taking care of a person that's coming with you in your adventure. It is a risk, definitely, but nothing that is not a risk is not worthwhile, right?
And so we, everything that we did down in Florida, besides like we would have her dad when we went to Orlando to do the stuff there. We had her dad drive us and he was with us and spent the days with us. But other than that, we were completely by ourselves, doing whatever we wanted to do, exploring the area freely. So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely a cool experience to go down there and not have to be with parents and what does everybody else wants to do. And it was, well, this store looks cool. Let's go inside of it. Like, really relaxed, chilled vacation. Not much planning for what we wanted to do. It was more...
Absolutely.
Whatever we find down there, it seems fun. We'll try it.
And you figure out everything on your own, right? The both of you. Sounds amazing. Like that is the process of growing, right? We are becoming adults in a sense, and even though we are childish in some way all the time, we are not completely adults at all. But well, there is a point when we can take more mature decisions, right? More mature decisions, and the fact of traveling with a person eventually makes you open your eyes, metaphorically talking, and discover new areas where you can be independent and not depending on your family, right? That's pretty much the idea of traveling.
I'd say it definitely opened my eyes to like how expensive everything is too. Like if we go on a normal trip with my family, my parents and stuff pay for the majority of everything, so you don't know what the price the prices for everything are. And then when we do it, we booked our own flights and we booked our own tickets for places and did all of that, and it added up really quickly. It was it wasn't terrible. We went for cheaper things as much as we could. We didn't eat out. We cooked food at my girlfriend's dad's house where we were staying and stuff like that. So we saved as much as we could, but it was not cheap. And figuring out how expensive everything was, especially down in a tourist area of Florida. So
It must be expensive in a way.
mhm.
And how much in average do you spend, and how long did your trip last?
So our trip was from Friday to, I guess, Tuesday was our last day. We flew in this morning. And was about 300 for tickets per person for the flight there and back. And then I spent around $300-400 somewhere around there while we were down there. So I was under $1,000 spent, under $1,000 spent, luckily, but I was still up in the probably $700-800 range.
Do you consider that less than $1,000 for 5 or 6 days is like the average that people are used to spend within a trip?
We got lucky and didn't have to pay for like a hotel room and stuff. Like, especially with spring break, I bet a lot of the hotels would have been ridiculously overpriced per night. So we probably would have spent over $1,000 just because of the hotel room or renting an Airbnb or something.
Because of the season too, right?
Mm-hmm. So
Springtime.
we got a little lucky on not having to pay for any of that. But I mean, if it seems about reasonable if you have somewhere free to stay, in my opinion, especially since we didn't go out and do super expensive things. Like we didn't go to Disneyland and spend hundreds of dollars on Disneyland tickets and stuff.
Unachievable.
So we cheaped out as much as we could. We ate at the house. We cooked our own food and whatnot. But
By the way, are you used to cook?
yeah, I like cooking a lot. So
What's your favorite dish you want to prepare?
So my new favorite one is bacon wrapped chicken tenderloin.
Do you just change your mind, your favorite dish because of this trip?
Not because of this trip. I cooked it like 3 weeks ago before I left for my trip. I made it for my family, and it was really easy to make. It was really good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, what kind of ingredients that your favorite dish preparation involves?
So it's just chicken tenderloin, bacon, and then seasoning and stuff. So I grilled it. Take the chicken tenderloin, take the fat off, wrap it in bacon. I grilled it for a little bit to get the chicken cooked, and then I pan seared it on top of a stove with just butter and everything to crisp it up. So it wasn't very hard to make at all. It's just wrapping the bacon around the chicken tenderloin and seasoning it.
What about the details? I mean, how much time, how many minutes to be specific do you spend like cooking or boiling the chicken?
The chicken. So I cook chicken and stuff a lot, like different meats and stuff a lot. So I didn't keep track of how long it took me per step, per se, like how long it took me each step. But it took me about an hour and a half to cook the entire thing. It was not bad at all. I cooked for 4 people, so I did a lot of them. So I mean, it was
a significant amount of time, right?
Cooking it on the chicken on the grill didn't take long, but it was like pan searing and stuff I did slowly.
So I understand. How many members of your family?
So it's my sister who lives in Pennsylvania, and then just my mom and dad who live with me, and then me, obviously. So usually it's just me, my mom, and my dad at home right now, since my sister's moved out.
Are you cuddled by your father or your mother?
A little bit.
I mean, in terms of maybe when they take you out to a supermarket, or maybe when they go with you in any other place, are they used to buy the things you want every time that you want?
No, I mean I get told no a lot.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think so.
They're really good though. It also helps that our family is pretty financially well off. We're not super rich by any means, but we have a decent amount to live comfortably. So I get told no a lot. I don't get everything that I want, but
When was the last time you were told no?
told no. When actually my parents refused to let me drive to the airport and park my car at the airport for the Florida trip because it was like $125 to pay for the parking and everything. They were like, we can just drive you to the airport. So
Oh,
I mean,
understand.
it was good because they saved me money. I got told no to buying crap, what was it called? I'm blanking. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. You were talking about that you were told no because the parking price was too
It's
expensive.
expensive. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was a computer part for my computer at home. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I was gonna spend it was like $250 for it.
$250 a computer.
Yeah, I asked my parents for a little bit of money because I knew my paycheck was coming in soon, and they told me no, and then I ended up not even buying it because my paycheck wasn't as much as I thought it was gonna be.
No way, less than 250.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
They're not great. These weren't great examples at all, but I don't really ask my parents much for anything anymore, especially because I make my own money, and I feel bad asking for money when I make my own money. So
I'm so into your side because at some point you realize that you gotta suffer to learn, you gotta suffer to gain money and live by your own right. And this trip also that you told me early had made you grow in some way, right?
Oh yeah.
Like getting maturity and change your mind basically. Pretty much is the idea of growing up. What about your Crocs? You told me you have a Coca-Cola, like the exclusive Crocs. And nobody else I've seen with the Crocs. How do you get it?
Crocs does a lot of collaborations with different companies. So, like these ones that I have on now were like not really.
Can you show it to the camera?
Put my shoe off for you. They did a collaboration with Coke, and they were like a limited edition thing for I don't know how long it was. It wasn't super long.
That's what we love. That we love as a person, right? Being exclusive, like having the limited edition, right?
I like the Crocs too. I mean, they're comfortable, and I like how often they come out with like newer ones. I want to start collecting them, but they're like $70 a pair. So.
Are they $70?
Yeah.
Where do you find it?
Crocs.com, so their like official website is where all of their cool things are.
Oh my goodness, I didn't notice it. Like I'm always asking or buying something, but from Amazon store, not any other place, because I'm not the person who is sightseeing around the entire Ohio Sandusky state, you know. But you say that just Crocs.com, that's it, right?
Yeah, their official Crocs website. I want the Lightning McQueen Crocs. You know, Lightning McQueen from Cars, the movie.
Oh, Ryan McQueen.
Yeah.
No way, you have it?
I want them. They're expensive right now.
How many? How much is it?
They're like $100, especially. Well, when they were released, they were like a collector's item, and they were.
Oh no
so
way!
They got bought out, and resellers took over and started controlling how much they.
Like EMS taking over this thing.
Yeah.
No
so
way.
Unless you want to spend upwards over $100, you can't really.
And it's overrated. $100 for Crocs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, 75, 80, but $100 is
ridiculous for a pair of rubber shoes. Yeah.
Apart from that, what is other reason you love using unlimited edition Crocs?
No one else has them. I haven't seen a single person with the Coca-Cola ones, like you said.
I love them, by the way. I love their Crocs.
I've only seen one other person with the ones I have on right now.
The ones that you have right now?
Yeah, these. I've only seen one other.
Who is the man?
It was a guest. It was a guest at Kalahari.
You thought he had a selling you Crocs?
He did. He saw mine and went, "Hey, nice Crocs, man," as he walked by me.
Oh my god! What a great anecdote.
Well.
Could you describe your favorite sport? What do you need to play it? Is it affordable?
So I did for all 4 years of high school, and by far probably my most favorite sport that I played was in a bowling team. So I was, you know, like how varsity and JV works in American high schools.
Oh, that's a ring
So for like any sport really in high schools, there's a junior varsity team, JV team, and a varsity team. JV are like the newer people, the less experienced, kind of
the junior ones.
Yeah, the worst ones. And varsity is like the better ones. Yeah, the good ones. So I started out my freshman year as junior varsity and then finished varsity. And then I was varsity all the way through high school. I was team captain this year too.
You were team captain?
I was team captain of the boys bowling team. It was really cool. It's affordable. I mean, the most expensive thing is the bowling balls themselves. They can be like $200+, especially mine were
like to buy it, to buy them or to rent them?
To buy them.
I see.
I would always buy them unless you're playing for fun, like going out and bowling for fun. And you can use they're called house balls, the balls that are already at the bowling alley. But I play it for sport and stuff, and I want to do it in college too. So
in college too, they are permitted to play airsoft.
They have a bowling team at Akron University where I'm going. I don't know if I want to necessarily try to commit to a full sport, but they also have like a bowling club, which isn't a team that goes to competitions and all that stuff. It's more of a fun hobby thing.
I thought it was airsoft.
I used to play that a lot. I mean, my life got super busy. That's what happened. I played it a lot, like eighth grade, freshman year, into my sophomore year and stuff. And then as I got older and got into my junior and senior year, I got a job. I was super busy on the weekends. I had other priorities and stuff.
So you're saying implicitly that airsoft, the sport, takes a lot of time to practice and to develop your skills. Are you saying this?
Yeah, if you want to, I played it competitively like that. So, I played for money a couple times in like different competitions and stuff. I was on a team and whatnot. If you want to do it as like a fun little hobby, it's not anything you need to like practice for or go out of your way to do unless you want to.
I see.
It's also extremely expensive.
Extremely expensive?
Extremely expensive.
What do you mean? At least give us some details, please.
So, it's like the ammo, BBs, are cheaper than like buying paintball. The paintballs for paintball. But gun-wise and stuff, like buying the gun and then all of the
automated electric guns?
Yeah. So the main one I use, actually both of mine, are air powered. They're HPA, so it's got an air tank and everything that uses it. So it has a few electrical components, but it's all just powered by air. And that one's worth probably $2,600, $2,600. I have.
So for rich people, would say.
Oh, I got into it really early, so I had, like, before I had a job and whatnot. So I had my parents help me with a lot of the money to get me started and, like, super interested in it. Especially because my friends were interested in it, too, and we would go out and play, like, every weekend. But we got busy. Life got in the way. I had a bunch of friends move away. They would graduate high school or have other things that took priority in their lives and had to stop or move, and that's kind of what happened to me.
So pretty much it was like an extrinsic demotivation what make you change your mind about the game, right? And
yeah,
because it was expensive too.
I still play from time to time when I have the availability and people to go with and stuff. I just go out and play for fun. But I used to be heavily into it. I mean, you've seen my Instagram pictures.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. And you're so popular, and you have a professional team that you are still keep in touch with.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them don't really play anymore.
Really, because they are grown men.
Yeah, they grew up, and a lot of them got big, like, real person jobs and stuff. So their time is all occupied, and a lot of the people that are like my age that I played with either lost interest in it or like just can't do it. It was too expensive for some of them, or they just got to the point where they just kind of lost interest.
Was it as expensive as profitable?
If you, I have I have one friend named Xavier. He plays. He actually moved up to Michigan to play for an airsoft team fully competitively.
Wow.
So he does everything for money. So I mean, if you do it competitively and you do competitions and tournaments and blah blah blah, then it can be
Kind of profitable?
yeah, profitable. Thank you. I was blanking on the word. It can be profitable, but for people just playing from time to time for fun, you don't get any money from it.
Is the community of airsoft toxic, like Rust or any other video game?
No. Everyone that I have met doing it has been amazing. I mean,
Really?
of course, you have the few bad apples here and there, the bad people.
The childish one.
Yeah. I won't name drop or anything. But everyone was super amazing, helpful, got me into the sport. I got really close with, the airsoft field in Norwalk, Odin's Paradise.
Nearby here.
Yeah, it's 20 some minutes away down by, where Suki is in Norwalk.
Norwalk is like 20 minutes or 25 minutes away.
Yeah, it's just actually past Milan. But either way, there's
No
a
worries.
airsoft field there, Odin's Paradise. Got really close with a bunch of the staff there and the owners and stuff, and they were amazing. Amazing people help out all the time, and it grew my interest in it.
I understand. But do you have a nickname, by the way? I mean, do people call each other by a nickname like happens in the video games or something?
My nickname was Bones
Bones.
because of how skinny I am. But
Pretty much a physical appearance. Okay.
yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was a funny name.
You felt identified with that nickname, right?
Some of my usernames and stuff that I use for games and whatnot, I still use Bones in part of it or whatever.
You feel comfortable with that nickname.
Yeah.
Pretty much what happened. I understand. So for airsoft, there should be also an available area, right? Because not all of places are authorized to use it to play, right?
Yeah. Especially in America, playing with guns in a public area is very frowned upon. And can get you in a lot of trouble. So there's just paintball fields set up area to area. There's airsoft fields set up, and you can go play there. I mean, if you go out into the middle of the woods somewhere and play with your friends, that's different. But there's certain areas where you should and shouldn't do it.
Like in beer areas, right?
Yeah.
Possibly you can die. Yeah. You gotta be cautious in that aspect. That sounds good. I mean, it was part of your childhood being a performer in the game of airsoft, right? And always every time that you reminisce, you go back in time. It's like a sweet memory, right? For you?
It is. I really miss. Excuse me. I really miss going out every weekend and going out and hanging out with my friends and stuff. What sucks is everyone moved away and stopped playing really quickly. So it was a sudden stop too.
Like they cut it down.
Yeah, within a few months.
dramatically.
Within a few months, and it was people moved away, people stopped playing, blah 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 blah, and it was kind of just me and a few others.
They were not committed, basically.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
And I have so many fun memories, so many really great memories playing and meeting people, and I've traveled to different states to do events and whatnot. And
Wow, such an amazing experience. Were you used to shoot on the head, like headshot?
I mean, I can't say I never did, or I never didn't aim for people's heads, but I've been shot in the head a lot, and it hurts, but it's not terrible.
It hurts.
It hurts.
Not till the point that you pass out, right?
No, not at all. It's like, have you been stung by a bee or something similar before? It feels kind of like that for a few seconds.
Something delicate.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's not terrible. I mean, the distance from what you get shot also affects it. And
By the way, how long is the permitted distance? Like the authorized distance?
so a lot of places don't have like, you can't shoot somebody from a certain distance. It's
Common
how-
sense.
Yeah, like you can be as close as you want to them, but it's how
Like
fast.
this.
Yeah, it's how fast your gun shoots. So they measure it in feet per second (FPS). Like the field in Norwalk, Odin's Paradise, their limit is 350 FPS. So if your gun shoots faster than that, then you can't play there unless you change something to your gun to shoot it less fast.
Because they are automated electro guns, right?
So
I understand.
yeah, too fast, and you can actually like start breaking skin and really hurting people.
Oh
and,
my
yeah.
goodness. It turns like paramedically talking dangerous, right?
I've had well, I haven't had. I've seen people get like BBs and stuff stuck in their arms and like need to pop it out before.
Were they bleeding?
Yeah.
Wow.
It happens. It's not anything super serious. I mean, it hurts, but
Nobody has died, right?
no, not no one that I know of at least has died.
Fortunately.
Yeah.
Fortunately. How do you get into the water park? How do you came out with the idea of working in Kalahari in the first place?
My sister worked there when she was in high school. She was a 15-year-old, like how I started out, and then worked lifeguard into Rhino, and then she was a head guard for the last 2 years she was there.
Can we know who she is?
Elisa Villa. Her last year would have been 2019. So
I wouldn't
yeah,
have
it was years ago
I understand.
at this point. But she worked there, and then I liked the idea of being a lifeguard, and then I started at Kalahari July of 2022. So I was mid-COVID, and they were desperate for workers, so they were paying $20 an hour.
20 here
20,
in Kalahari,
yes.
Sandusky, Ohio.
$20.
Oh my goodness, I would have been there. I should have been there.
What sucks is I saved none of the money either. I was making like $1,300 bi-weekly paychecks, working 4 days a week, and then I saved none of the money because I was a stupid young kid.
Everybody was stupid at some point, but you say the $20 was a rate, humongous rate.
And then it went
years
down
later.
to 15 in the next after the summer ended. But yeah, I wanted to follow in my sister's footsteps a little bit, but seeing I'm really close with a lot of the head guards and stuff and the other supervisors, and I've seen how stressful being a head guard is and how mentally how much of a toll it takes on someone mentally. And I would love to do it. I want to be a head guard, but I really don't think I want that stress. That
I understand what you're saying.
like
understand.
I like what I do in Rhino. I love staying busy, and I love like the job of a Rhino, and I don't mind working lifeguard shifts from here and there. But I mean, maybe over the summer I've been thinking about being a head guard, but we'll see what happens if my mind changes or anything.
Of course, I mean, the doors are open the whole time. So just if you change your mind, then take a decision and be a head guard. I mean, I consider you, personally talking, capable of doing more than being a head guard. You can possibly be the manager because of your wholehearted. I mean, not most of people that I know in the water park, even though being people who are promoted like manager or coordinator, they lack. I'm not saying they are not enough for the job position. I'm just saying they lack. As everybody lacks of something, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying that they could be better if they take their job with wholehearted as you take it. I've never seen you mad at the water park. I've never seen you like complaining because of this or saying shit at people because they didn't make what you told them to do or something like that. Do you understand my point a little bit?
I complain, but I don't complain out loud a lot.
Well,
Like,
at least from my personal view, I haven't seen you complaining, so that's pretty much.
ask any of the head guards. I can't. I do my fair share of it, but so do everyone does their fair share of I mean, we work in an amusement park, in a water park. It's not gonna be well unicorns and rainbows and great. Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
Life is not as you are mentioning unicorns and rainbows. Like in life, there must be ups and downs, but actually, from my point of view, I prefer more downs than ups, because in the downs or on the darkest of times is where actually you know yourself, where is where you can break your limits, break the rules of, I mean, push yourself through the limits and then be a better person, right? Like growing. That's pretty much. But as I was saying, you will be a great head guard and eventually a great coordinator. If you want, even a trainer, right?
Trainer. Yeah.
A trainer. Because you have the abilities. I mean,
Brady was a manager.
Brady, yeah.
Yeah.
The man who used to have a case of one of the characters of Avatar, and also he used to have a Tesla.
Oh yeah,
Brady.
yep.
That's the same we were talking
Brady,
about,
yep.
right?
And say he was the one that did my Rhino audits or my Rhino test to get into Rhino.
Memorable.
And then he was a huge support of trying to get me into head guard and stuff really fast. And I don't know. I don't know. I like the idea of head guard. I just don't want the stress. I like where I'm at.
Just take into account that it's getting under a lot of pressure. Since you are a diamond, so diamonds are used to be under a lot of pressure. So you are gonna discover what's your substance, what is in reality, because in life you're gonna go through a lot. You'll never know what's gonna happen. Life will give you surprises eventually, right? So if you are a head guard there and you are holding, or you are overcoming those under a lot of pressure and circumstances, then it'll be easier the rest of it. Don't you think so?
Yeah. I've definitely had my fair share of like stressful and really bad days as a Rhino. And I've been head guard, like when head guards have their in service, the Rhinos have to step up and be the head guard for closing and stuff. You know that.
Yeah, you take the radio.
Take the
them
radio and over
all
and
this
stuff. And I have gotten a taste of like what it's like to control everybody and focus on everything and like the entire zone. Doesn't seem that huge, but once you're managing the entire zone, it's a lot bigger than it seems.
I guess it's just a matter of repetition.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can go and work a Rhino shift without really even thinking about what I need to be doing anymore because I've been doing it so long. And I guess, I mean, it can be the same way as a head guard. Once you're in that repetitive cycle of doing that same job day by day, then it gets to be normal.
Yeah, like I guess the most fascinating and awe-inspiring circumstances that you can go through, as Shayna was mentioning in her podcast, is like you can be like 3 entire months in silence, just doing repetitively the habits that you're used to, and suddenly in a blink of an eye, a guest is in the middle of passing away, or in a complicated situation that makes you think from 0 to 100%, and dramatically. So your entire world goes upside down, right? Turns upside down. And then I would say that is the most critical thing that can happen to you as a head guard. But other than that, you have a family in Kalahari, right? You say you're used to, or you are familiarized with most of the management team, right?
I love my coworkers and say everyone here has been extremely supportive, extremely nice. I mean, I'm still nervous to ask questions because I feel stupid, especially since I've worked here so long.
It's okay, everyone at some point.
But it's all been great. I love my coworkers a lot. It's definitely not anything to do with them and stuff.
And you miss out with them too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have my fair share of fun with everyone. It's it's a great place to work friend wise. There's a lot of people. I meet a lot of people that I wouldn't meet if I was working at a McDonald's or some fast food joint. I actually, one of my favorite parts of the job is meeting the internationals and stuff, and
Oh,
the
really?
Turkish, the Colombians, and the Peruvians, and all of that. It's really cool. It's and seeing your cultures and your like demeanors and how you guys differ from us is really cool, especially because a lot of you are really nice, really fun to
Yes.
be around.
Just make sure don't fall in love with a Latina woman, okay?
I won't.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's the thing. Diversity is the beauty of life. Brian Shanley, the general manager, was talking yesterday with him in a podcast too, and he said, without diversity, there's no open mindedness. There's no open mindedness. And he was working in another hotel in Orlando. In Orlando, there's a lot of travelers from every country, from every culture.
Oh yeah.
So there are marvelous and wonderful people to meet. The thing is that diversity is key to grow mentally, and I would say in terms of maturity too. So yeah, it's a blessing that you are exposed to a lot of cultures from season to season, right? Which we doesn't that thing doesn't happen in our country, since we have not that opportunity or that availability to let people from first world countries to come out to our country. We don't usually see in universities internationals, or I mean from your country here from America. Just barely, I barely see them. I barely see them. They don't used to exchange it. They are not used to exchange them. So pretty much that should change, improve. The government should take decisions, should take part on that situation. That's pretty much what happened. And well, talking about the water park, talking about anecdotes, memorable facts, and also funny facts. Have you ever fell in love before you get in a relationship with your actual woman, with a guest? Because American women are fascinating. I mean, in terms of body, they are. I'm not gonna say delicious. I'm going to use the adjective gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, they are gorgeous. Have you ever?
I haven't. No. I mean, I've been hit on and stuff, but I haven't. I know other people that have, but not me personally. I don't know. I didn't want to, first off, because I mean, people aren't from Ohio just coming to Kalahari. They're from all over. So I mean, why get attached to somebody long distance or
Yeah,
someone
you're
that
totally
lives
right.
halfway across the state or whatever.
Or maybe not a country, right?
Exactly.
That's pretty much the idea. So you can't get crushed on something, but having a relationship involves more than just talking a day, right?
Yeah.
That's the circumstance of what matters.
Yeah.
Pretty much is the idea. How do you meet your actual girlfriend? How do you make her fall in love with you? Which is a secret that we want to know as Latinos.
So it's a funny story. It was the beginning of like last school year. I was in my math class. I sat with, it was me and then 3 other girls at the table.
All right.
So I was the only guy at the table. And one girl, Adriana, I was more friends with her and got her like Snapchat and stuff. I wasn't interested with her or anything. We were just friends. And one day she posted a selfie at work. She works at Subway with my girlfriend Caitlin in the picture. And I thought Caitlin was really cute.
Just because of the photo?
Just because of the photo. And Adriana gave me her Snapchat, gave me Caitlin's Snapchat. And she was, at the time, kind of talking to another guy. So she was ignoring me for the most part for like a month. And it was probably the same week I was finally deciding, all right, I'm just going to unadd her and move on, right? This isn't going anywhere. I snapped her I sent her a picture of my dog Dash, my husky, and she
Oh,
went, "Aw, cute dog." And then
cute
it
dog.
spiraled from there, and we started talking more and more, and it was within a month, and then we were dating.
Wow, such a
So
funny story.
it all happened because of my dog.
Because
All
of your
my
husky.
husky. Yep, I owe it all to him.
So husky, you need more pedigree.
Oh, they're beautiful dogs. It worked, I guess.
It
So
works in some way. Like women, in some sense, are attracted by a man because his politeness, because his kindness. I would say those are characteristics that a woman who wants a long-lasting relationship is looking for in a man, right? Most of that happen. And well, hope that you have a great relationship, very positive, because most of the time we don't find our soulmates being mature, but instead we find them being toxic, like rust, being people saying, talking shit and
yeah,
that stuff.
and say, I mean, it's dating culture too. It sucks, but I got lucky. I mean, she's great to me. I love her so much, and she's great. And I try to be give what I receive from her.
What do you think is her love language?
Uh, she, I want to say physical touch, but she's also a big gift giver as well.
You give her.
So, she makes a lot of homemade gifts and stuff for me, which are really cute. I love it.
He loves it.
So I'd say more gift giver than physical touch, but I'm more of a physical touch person.
Like
I
most of men are more physical touch
Yeah.
language, right?
I'd say I love it.
I understand. I understand. That's pretty impressive coming from you because you said that you guys have 1 year and 3 months of relationship,
Yep.
right? And most of couples just because they don't know each other's love language, they break up, right? And it's so important to know this is vital in our relationship. What do you think are the what do you think are the details of an event or a circumstance in which a couple should break up?
Um, it depends on the people in the relationship. Like, I mean, no matter how bad something might happen, like how bad an argument might be or whatever, if you guys both genuinely love each other and can move on, then it's best to try to work it out between the two and continue with the relationship if you can. But it's different for everybody. I mean, I couldn't do long distance. Like if my girlfriend or me had to move all the way across the country, I don't think I could do that.
So the best for you would be breaking
Yeah,
up, right?
yeah. It depends on the people's circumstances. I mean, some people just aren't meant to be together either. Like people have different dreams and different desires that they want to do. So
Absolutely.
if they aren't compatible that way, or like even personality wise, if you guys have two completely different personalities, then it could be hard to keep a relationship going and
Of course.
keeping it a good relationship as well. There's a lot of different factors in my opinion, but as long as you love the person enough, you should be able to work through the problems that you might have in the relationship.
I understand. So the key in a relationship, can we say that is communication the whole time?
100%. And say, I don't mean to like toot my own horn and give myself the credit or my relationship the credit, but me and my girlfriend are really open with each other and communicating our problems and stuff, and that has saved us a lot of like arguments and like times like making hard decisions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If we're just open with each other and how we feel about the situation or whatever, and then we can talk about it as normal people and work through it instead of turning it into a screaming match and an argument. So
Do you think that if you were working, I mean, if you were co-workers in the same place, did you get in trouble? I mean, would you get into trouble? Yeah.
in like what kind of trouble?
I mean, I'm not that cheesy in a relationship, but I'm saying if I were cheesy, then at work, I would kiss her before taking the lift. to the second
Yeah.
floor, you know, no matter what. So that kind of trouble, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably. Especially since we've been together so long, we're pretty comfortable with each other. Like, especially like kissing and hugging out in public and whatnot. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I understand your
it-
point.
so I don't know. I don't think I'd get in trouble for doing anything I shouldn't be doing on work property, but
But that
but,
happens
yeah.
sometimes, you know.
I had when I was a 15-year-old
Mm-hmm.
starting out, I had one of the other 15-year-olds get fired because him and his girlfriend got caught having sex in the locker rooms.
No
In
way.
the family locker rooms, yeah.
No way. Well, you know, their temperature went high, and then the emotional control just
It's
was
gone.
fucked up.
Yeah.
That happens usually. That happens usually when you are like you are growing a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Younger. It's maturity is what also is a huge part of relationships. If you're not matured, then you can't really, I don't think, have a serious enough relationship with somebody.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta reject yourself, reject your desires in order for your relationship to grow, right? That's a mentality. That's the mentality. How do you see Julian Villa in 5 years now?
So hopefully the next 2 will be spent in college and graduating college with my degree.
Paramedics.
Yes. So I'll have my paramedic certification, and then I'll have a associate's degree in disaster science and emergency services.
Wow.
So hopefully within there, I'll be graduated and have like a job, a paying job, somewhere in my paramedic field.
Sorry to interrupt you. What kind of rate or salary are you expecting to have in 5 years now as a paramedic?
So it ranges from like city to city. Obviously, like you get paid more in major cities than you would in small town Sandusky kind of thing. But
That makes sense.
realistically, my girlfriend has a 4-year degree, so I'd be staying around the Akron kind of Kent area of Ohio. So probably around 45 to 50,000 a year, which is pretty low for this economy right now. But with the associate's degree that I get with it, has a lot of like promotion opportunities and gets me more opportunities to get like better certifications, paramedic certifications, and I can get paid more and work better like paramedic opportunities. My goal is to do life flight paramedic work. Do you know what life flight is?
Life flight paramedic?
It's like the emergency helicopters.
Like kind of extreme.
Yeah, so I'd be one of the paramedics. I wouldn't be flying the helicopter, but I'd be one of the paramedics inside the helicopter that pick people up
From the army, from the military.
no, it's by the hospitals. A lot of it, from what I hear, is just like transporting patients that need fast care from hospital to hospital.
Oh, that is specific job position, right?
Yeah, it's part of it. A lot of it is also like if someone gets in a really bad car accident and needs transported to the hospital like really fast, like ASAP, or a hospital really far away, they call a life flight helicopter and they come pick them up and just fly them there.
That means that you are so energetic and you have a lot of adrenaline. You wanna feel stamina when
Yeah.
you are working as a paramedic.
I know it's gonna be stressful, and I know it's gonna not be
And
the
you don't want to be a headguard either. So
I get it. Part of the reason why I'm gonna go back on headguard topic, but I mean I'm
okay.
a 17, almost 18-year-old kid. I don't really think I need that stress in my life right now, especially with trying to figure out
I
high
respect
school
that.
and college and all of that. Like, I would love the opportunity. I'd love being a head guard, but I don't.
By the way, sorry to interrupt
No,
you.
you're fine.
Is Robert 17, 18?
I think he's 16 or 17.
No way.
He's younger than me.
Wow.
And then Idella is a little bit older than me, but I actually shadowed her when I started as a 15-year-old. So she's been here a month longer than I have, but
Just a month.
just a month. Yep. But yeah, she's a few months, 3 or 4 months older than me.
They are already under a lot of pressure, right?
And say I saw Idella turn from this energetic ball of energy, great happy person, to a really stressed out, anxious person, which is a big deterrent from head guarding as well. But,
That makes sense. I understand your point, and I respect it now because you just clarify the fact that being a head guard not only affects or has an impact positive, I mean, in terms of economy, but there's another side of the coin that is negative, right?
Yeah.
That in your emotional control gets mature faster, but makes you lose your lifetime as a young man or young woman, right? That's pretty much what you were saying. I understand completely your point.
Yeah.
Makes sense a lot.
And I think the once I'm trained, like go through schooling and I'm trained for paramedic stuff, and I already have to be a life flight paramedic, I need at least 5 years experience as a normal paramedic. So hopefully within that 5 years and all the schooling and stuff, I can get past the uneasiness and the worry about the job and get more comfortable with it. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be the greatest job in the world, but it's something I'm really interested in, and then it's something that's really needed.
And if it fulfills your heart, then it's the right path, right? It's the right path, pretty much. I love how you think. I love your mindset, your positive attitude, your charisma. Makes you be the truly Julian Villa. Actually, every person is gifted in a different way. I think so. And well, hopefully the next year, since you're still gonna be 18 years old, right?
Yes.
No,
Well,
because this year you hit 19.
I turn 18 in May. And
In
then
May.
next year I'll turn 19.
Next year you will turn 19. May, right?
May, yep.
May. So you are now 18.
17. May's 2
Oh
months
my
from now.
goodness. Oh my goodness. Sorry
You're
for
okay.
that. So 17 you are.
Yes.
So the next year that I'm coming back, you will be 18 years old.
Yeah, 18, almost 19, depending on when you come back. Yeah.
Almost 19, but you are not permitted, not yet, to drink alcohol, right? So
No.
sad. That's a pity.
I'm 2 months away from being able to enlist in the military, though. So.
Oh, no way. However, in Florida, you're always allowed since you have money, right? That's pretty much how it works. Well, basically, I'm so excited to say this is the amazing end of the podcast. Thank you so
welcome.
much, Julian Villa. You are a so valuable human being. I actually believe in what you're gonna become in 5 years now. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get it. Your dreams will come true eventually because you have a great maturity, you have a great mindset, and all the blessings for you. God always guides you in your path and always give you positive thoughts. And break always the negative thoughts, right? That's how it works.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a blast to be on here. I really enjoyed this. It was
Tell you a secret.
what?
I was saying that those are the 3 questions that I had. The rest of it was spontaneous.
Really? That was good. Dang.
It's normal.
That's sick. That's really good of you. I mean, that's a skill.